try to understand that why UPSC is giving that much emphasis on polity. That has to be understood first when we enter into the subject. Polity, if I say, is the description about the arrangement of power that a society is having. So if I say what is polity? Polity is all about the power arrangement in a society. Now, this arrangement can be good also, this arrangement can be bad also. Like polity in USA, polity in India, polity in Afghanistan, polity in Pakistan, okay. So, some of the examples will be of bad polity, that's right. Why UPSC is asking this much? Because a society for all its functions is largely dependent on that how its power arrangement is rationalized. What is the legitimizing premise in a society related to the power? Now, this power arrangement, when I see it, must be having some source. So, when I say polity, so in basic thing what you should understand, it is about power arrangement in a society. So, given society, hai beta? So, it will be a given society. Description, it will be fixed. When I say polity in Afghanistan, fixed. So, now the question will arise that what makes polity good and what makes polity bad. So, it means for your examination purpose, my children, it will always be that they will be asking you the features associated with good polity. For your mains purpose also, they will ask you, do you think now we should make further codes in it or elaborate codes in it like privileges of MPs? That's right. So, the question always be about good polity. So, what will be the features of good polity? Bad polity is very easy. Alauddin Khilji's times, bad polity. Afghanistan, bad polity. Okay. So, whenever the principles will not be there, whenever the things will be based on whims and fancies, whenever the things will be based on despotic tendencies, it will be considered bad polity, correct? So, it means the reverse is true. Whenever the things will be well defined, when the power will be used on the basis of some legal rational premise, when the powers are not despotic, when there are arrangements to control the authority, these will become examples of good polity. So, when we study it, whenever we go for studying any subject, always try to have an idea. When we are understanding it, you need to understand that UPSC will be asking you that do you think the legislative debates in India are rich enough, or do you think that we should provide some sort of qualifications or training for our MPs or MLAs? Such type of questions they will be asking. They will be asking you that whether we are reduced to ballot box democracy, what can we do to improve democracy? Mains questions, GS paper 2. That's right. And in prelims, they will be asking you the very same thing, that how do you actually analyze, the features of democracy, which of the following is the expression of democracy in India. Okay. So, it means I need to know what are the good features, and then I need to see how they are applied in India. What are the sources related to them? This is what we will be reaching. Correct, friends? So, let's again start understanding polity. This is your first class, so no worries. Let's once again start understanding polity, that what polity refers to. So when I say that polity refers to the power arrangement, you also need to understand that there must be some large arrangement sometimes, and within that a polity may allow sub arrangements also. There may be one arrangement, there may be another arrangement, there may be another arrangement. Okay. The outer ring will provide the guiding principles and the inner ring may be provided with certain exceptions like ट्राइबल एडवाइजरी काउंसिल TAC. ठीक है, आसान सी बातें हैं. Why they ask TAC? Why they should ask? Why they should ask about Schedule 6 something about? Schedule 5 में अगर ट्राइबल एडवाइजरी काउंसिल है तो वहां से क्या पूछेंगे? Why do they ask? They ask because for larger thing there is one polity, okay, certain principles, and certain exceptions are allowed at the subordinate levels or sub areas. Sub polities भी allowed हैं, and if it is diversity you need to allow. Today is if you have seen the judgment of Honorable Supreme Court, the judgment is stating that states have the right to sub-classify within SC/ST quota. बहुत बड़ी बात है, आने वाला है आपके एग्जाम में नेक्स्ट ईयर. ओके, दिस ईयर्स मेंस दे में आस्क. So if any one of you or your friend is appearing for mains, be ready for this question because it's a very big judgment, landmark judgment है बेटा. Till now we were thinking that any changes, anything will happen only by the center or center's intervention. It's not possible for a state. But state has been saying that, sir, it is a development agenda. When we have a schedule caste means a schedule of certain castes and development for them. So, sir, why we should not be allowed? That's right. So, sub-polity. Getting it? So, first of all, we will understand what is larger polity and then we will see. चलिए अब समझना शुरू करते हैं what is polity and we will write something also. So, they ask you things to identify that how much you are aware that we are examples of good polity, and how will you know that what is the example of good polity? When you will know that what will make a polity a bad polity. Okay, like you all must have heard the term ordinance, adhyadesh. All of you have heard this term? Tell me yes or no. Now, ordinance will be an example of good polity or bad polity? Ordinance will be an example of good polity or bad polity? Try to think. I have not taught you till now. सोच के देखो कि सर अध्यादेश जारी करना will make good polity. Nitya Gupta, good polity. Everyone is writing good polity. No beta, it is bad polity. Why? We will understand. It is only a stopgap arrangement. Okay? Yes, only for, so it should not be a regular practice. Only a stopgap arrangement. So ordinances ideally shall not be issued. They should not be used. Okay? It is only a special route. It should not be used an escape route to avoid discussions in the legislature. बड़ी आसान सी बात है, समझ कर देखते हैं. When we talk of good polity, we say whose function is to make laws? We say of the legislature. Correct? Who should make laws? Legislature should make laws. Legislature. Who should apply the laws? Executive should apply the laws. Correct? And who should resolve disputes? Judiciary shall resolve the disputes. बड़ी आसान सी बात है, काम बढ़ गया. Right? Now, if something which it is doing, if this power is taken by this agency, so definitely this agency is trying to usurp, USURP, usurp power of someone else. ठीक है, in extraordinary situation it is allowed, so that absence of a session shall not become a handicap in the discharge of functions. Correct? Shall be allowed, but not as a general thing. Okay, so ordinance will not be an example of good polity. ये तो stop gap के लिए दिया है. जैसे आप बंदूक लेकर चल रहे हो, okay, you have taken a license to a gun. It does not mean you will be using it anywhere. थोड़ी सी लड़ाई हुई और आपने निकाल लिया. That's wrong. That will, extraordinary means extraordinary. Firing of police, that's why it will be criticized in a democracy. It will never be appreciated. Extraordinary, you will have to justify and explain. Understanding it, sir? So, whenever we talk that how the organs will be working in a society so that things are carried out in a better manner. Right, sir? In the times of Adolf Hitler, whether polity existed in Germany or not, it existed. But officers were allowed to even abuse their authority. And it was not for everyone. The things, people were discriminated by the system itself. And that's why it perished. Badi aasan si baat hai. If a car is having 4 wheels and some other systems, if you neglect any one of them, ultimately the vehicle will stop. I feel sorry about Adolf Hitler that he did not have even a single good advisor. एक भी, फियासेंस का मतलब बेटा लॉ होता है. दीक्षा मदन, फियासेंस एंड सफीना. फियासेंस मीन्स बेटा लॉ, मिस माने मिस फियासेंस, रॉन्ग एप्लीकेशन ऑफ लॉ. ठीक है बेटा. मेल फियासेंस, एप्लीकेशन ऑफ लॉ विद अ मेलाफाइड इंटेंशन, बुरी सोच के साथ. जैसे किसी ने कुछ कहा, एसएचओ ने कहा मुझे इतने पैसे दे दो नहीं तो तुम पे मैं ये सेक्शन लगा दूंगा. गांव में सुनते रहते हैं ना, ऐसी हो जाती हैं चीजें. सो गलत केस में फंसा दिया. मेल फियासेंस. ओवर फियासेंस इज समथिंग वाज नॉट इन योर जुरिस्डिक्शन, something was not in your jurisdiction, still you tried to apply your powers over there. Fiasens बेटा इनमें लॉ रहेगा बच्चे, एंड मिस मैल ओवर, ये 3 चीजें इसकी डिस्क्राइबिंग है. प्री का क्वेश्चन है, इट्स अ क्वेश्चन ऑफ प्री. दे विल आस्क यू विच इज द एग्जाम्पल ऑफ मिस फियासेंस और नीचे लिखेंगे मेलाफाइड से. नहीं, मिस फियासेंस गलती भी हो सकती है. आपने एक, you all are students nowadays, you are must be hearing that some people have been arrested under these sections. सुना होगा ना, 105, this. So later on, during the framing of charges, a discussion will take place in the courtroom where they will say that sir, this particular section will not apply. वो misfiasence होता है. मुझे ऐसा लगा that it should apply, but actually it was not the correct one to be applied. कोई बात नहीं, courts will actually then declare that action null and void and will provide the relief. वो misfiasence गलती से हो जाना. malfiasence जानबूझकर मैलाफाइड इंटेंशन के साथ काम करना. and overfiasence is when you by chance or deliberately overstepped in the territory of someone else. ठीक है? okay जी. who were the best financial managers? Jews. Who were having money, who were good at business? Jews. Okay. Who could have managed finances very well? Jews. Why you neglected a particular skill? You are looking to expand, that the population of Germans is increasing, they require some area. ठीक है यार, बहुत एरिया खाली पड़ा है, go ahead. But अपने एसेट को कभी नुकसान नहीं किया जाता. यू नेवर गो अगेंस्ट ह्यूमैनिटी. एंड दे वेंट एंड सी अल्टीमेटली इतने शॉर्ट पीरियड में इतनी सारी आर्मी के साथ खत्म हो गए. दे लॉस्ट बिकॉज later on, after 42, they started having financial problems. और फाइनेंशियल प्रॉब्लम्स अगर एक बार शुरू होती हैं, और युद्ध के लिए क्या चाहिए बेटा? पैसा. You require money by any way to continue manufacturing, to import things, or to carry out the things. You have to require money. Anyway, so against humanity, bad polity, they neglected a particular skill, bad polity. E नहीं आएगा, अक्षय, it will be VOID only. So bad polity. Then making wrong decisions. You required space for your people. तो एक लिमिट तक जाना था, उसके बाद नहीं बढ़ना था. And then, like Chanakya told, that is Kautilya, make those people also very comfortable. आप डेनमार्क में भी पहुंच गए. Have them with you. Don't kill anyone. Make them your subjects. Let them work for your growth. And things would have been okay. So what is good polity? A good polity will be people-centric. Good polity will never be officer-centric. Good polity will always be people-centric. है ना बेटा? So governance and a constitutional government क्या एक ही बात है? जी हाँ, लगभग एक ही बात है. Because any good polity ultimately will lead to good governance only. If you are having governmental organizations but they are not people-centric, makes no sense.